of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hello, big up everybody. How are you doing? Happy Thursday. We are less than 24 hours until kickoff at Selhurst Park versus Crystal Palace. How's everybody doing? Apologies about yesterday. Apologies indeed, but life sometimes can be. It was obviously difficult to get here on time too. So as you can see, trying to manage time, manage YouTube, manage a family, manage everything that goes in hand with that. Quite difficult, everybody, so apologies. Gonna work out of my grumbliness, but how's everyone doing this Thursday? I hope you are too blessed to be stressed. Let me make sure my settings, I've been messing with my settings the past couple of days. Obviously, like I said before, I'm on this new StreamYard account, so I don't know if it's working quite right, but hey, we move. I get to play the intro. I guess that's all that really matters. But how's everybody feeling? Let me know. Boom, there. I should be done adjusting my audio, but there it is nonetheless. Let's check in with the chat. Let's see. Look, I got one guest who's going to be joining me in a little bit after I go on my little solo spiel, and then I got potentially another guest who may join after he eats some dinner, so we'll see. Keep it locked. If not, then hey, you're just stuck with me. But what's new? Welcome to episode number 80, previewing Palace. We will be previewing Palace. Obviously, Ange Postecoglou spoke today. There's some things that he said that we will be discussing. But, I mean, there's a lot of things, actually, to be discussed. But, you know, I mean, we can only start where we can start. Look, Crystal Palace obviously is missing two of their greatest players on their roster. The two best players on their roster. So, should, could, and would. But sometimes it doesn't matter in the game of football. What matters is what happens in those 90 minutes. So it'll be interesting to see how we react to this latest challenge, but I'm curious to see how y'all react to the like button. Maybe y'all do hit it, maybe y'all don't. We'll see. There is a poll going on in the chat right now, so go ahead and vote in that poll. Let your voice be heard. The question of the day is, how do you think Palace away will go for Spurs? A resounding 98%. Wowzers. This is... Hey, maybe if some rivals start tapping in, they'll start saying something different. But look, a resounding 98% at this juncture says Spurs should win and will win. And then 2% say Spurs win because they lucky. You know what? That could be a Spurs fan. That could be a rival fan at this rate. I really don't know anymore. But, hey, don't matter what you listen to, where you subscribe, who you listen to exactly. But what I will tell you here is, there's no right or wrong way to support your Tottenham Hotspur, and it doesn't make you positive or negative, or those are just two ends of a battery, in my opinion. You got a positive and a negative. How else you make that battery run with a positive and a negative? So, look, whatever you want to call it, you can call it whatever you want. Here on this channel, wow, my hair's fucked up. I just looked at myself. Damn. Sorry about my appearance, y'all. Being a freaking daddy all day is hard sometimes. Apologies about my appearance. I look kind of rough right now. Holy, need to hire a damn makeup artist or like a image artist or something. But hey, how's everybody doing? Obviously, look at this. Spurs should win and will win. 98% says we should beat Crystal Palace. Look, and I agree. Really, no excuse. They're missing their best players. We should take advantage of it. We'll break it down a little bit more as we get into it. But let me go ahead and see who got the first place prize today in the chat. Let me say hello. In a Coma is not in a coma. They are here at the show, and big up yourself right now. In a Coma says, can't wait for this game. 3-0 win for you. Big up in a Coma. I do. That's a great prediction. You got it out there early. First of all, you get two first place prizes. You're a YouTube chat member, and you're the first YouTube chatter. So regardless of membership, you still get double place. First place prize, Catch 22 is locked in. Big up Catch 22. How you doing? Captain Grandma says, good day, China. Wouldn't it be nice to have an early 3-0 lead so we could see the likes of Hill Messi coming on to strut his stuff? That might be nice, indeed. I had the remote. to the TV in here. Apologies about that. Captain Grandma, it would be nice to get out to a 3-0 lead. Big up. Big up indeed. Elvis G's in the house. Says, evening, Jacob and chat. Smash that like. I'm off to sleep. Big up Elvis, YouTube chat member in the house. Always showing support. Hitting that like before they go to bed. What a great servitude. And I hope you have some great dreams because of that. No Ollie say. No Easy E. Big V for victory or Roid Rage, says Jazz Fusion. Wow, that's pretty great. I gotta say, I must admit, I'm gonna say Big V for victory, not Roid Rage, and I think that's because Roy Hodgson. Hopefully, they don't put that work on us. Look, they're number 1 in the league right now for successful tackles in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. So you got to put some respect on their name at the end of the day. Nick Brown says, we've got this game, and an early goal will really help us as they'll have to come out and be more proactive. Big up Nick Brown, first and foremost. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Always supporting the channel. Good evening. I think good evening for you, Nick Brown. I don't know if you've told me, but I believe you're out there in the UK. Milton Nobrega is in the houses. Good afternoon, Jacob and everyone in the chat. Hope everyone is well. What's going on? What's everyone's score predictions and who's going to be on the score sheet and who will be our BDE? Quiz. Big up Milton. We will discuss. We will roll out the red carpet, so to speak. We'll get into it. I feel really disheveled today. Sorry about that, but I'm really rattled and shooken up. My wife busted up in here, got the TV remote because I guess my dumb ass brought it in here for whatever reason. So my son needed the channel changed. It probably didn't change. So apologies for that. Kind of threw me off there. Rich, big up. Been a lot of disappointment for Spurs fans in recent history, but Ainge is making me believe again. Could this be the dawn of a new era? Rich, look, again, like I always say, feel however you want to feel. But I feel like it is the dawn of a new era. He's making me believe in something that is greater than I've ever felt. But hey, I'm an emotional guy. I get swept up in the moment. Maybe that's what's happening again. I don't know. But what you can't tell me is that you have some crystal ball that you bought on Amazon that said definitively this is what's going to transpire this during the season. Look, you can say that realistically we won't win it. I would agree with that. But you can't tell me that it's impossible. There's no way. And when you say things like, oh, because it's Spurs, you won't win the league, to me, that's just a lazy argument. A lazy argument to use some historical measurement on where we are right now. I don't think is fair to Ainge Postecoglou, nor do I think it's fair to the starting 11 that we have. I think we have one hell of a starting 11. There are some pieces on the bench that are quite good and that can be quite useful for us. I think in the long run, we will see. But look, we've had one window where Ainge has had a peppering of his own influence. And I think once we have 4 full windows with Ainge Postecoglou where he's had his influence and has his say on what players that we do bring in, at that point, I will be starting to have different expectations. But look, at this juncture in the season, I've just been enjoying myself. I've been enjoying the football, been enjoying the vibes, the dubs. Obviously, we're undefeated. The player of the month, the managers of the months, keep it coming. Long may it continue. And hopefully this makes EAFC put fucking Ainge Postecoglou's face in the game, because it's quite disrespectful on your 2-time running manager of the month, and you don't even have his face scanned into the game. So anybody out there that work at EA? I believe EA is stationed in Florida, Orlando, maybe. Anyone out there, go knock on their door and say, come on, get out there, go scan Ainge Postecoglou's face. It's time you put the father of us all in the game. Big up Jim, says, hi Jacob and Chewy. Hope you're well, mate. I'm trying to stay awake, but absolutely knackered. And Big Ainge we trust. Big up Jim. No Chewy today, as you can see. He's on strike, and I don't know why. It's not like he's in the screenwriter's room writing up content for the show. He's just He just doesn't want to sleep in here anymore, I guess. Whatever. But I do apologize for being late, everybody. But Batu's here in the house. At least he was here when the show was supposed to start. Says, evening all. Big up, Batu. How you doing? Lateness is greatness, says Rich. Appreciate that. Understanding of why I was late. Appreciate that. Donovan says, Jacob may be late, but his wife wasn't. Congratulations, Big Daddy Jacob. Hey, look at that, Donovan. Way to twist that around, and I like it. You twisted it in the most positive of ways. Rich says, Vicario on playing for Spurs. Oh, I got this quote. I do have it, but let me read it real quick since you were so kind to put it in the chat. It says, quote, as soon as I knew there was an opportunity to come here, I would have signed in blood. I would have walked from Italy. What a guy. He would have walked from Italy. I don't think that's possible, but maybe someone more geographically savvy could educate me, but I don't think that that's possible. Big up Mile High Hotspur in the house. Leo, how are you doing? Much love to the homies. Much love to yourself, sir. Leo, big up. Hey, look, Ash is here. Big up, Ash. Saw you on Time Added On. Big up, Ash. I don't know if that was your debut or what, but big up. Says, big up, Jacob. It's 4 a.m. and I stayed up to watch the show. Come on, you Spurs. Hey, thank you for that. That means a lot. Where is it 4 a.m. at? That's got to be like what, India? I don't know, because in the UK it would be damn near midnight right now. So you're 4 hours ahead of the UK. I don't know where that is. Apologies. I do not. The American education system did not teach me too much about the world. Only about America. But hey, I'm here to learn. So big up, Ash. Appreciate you being here. And YouTube chat member nonetheless. I believe when Chang was gifting, or someone was gifting so kindly, you hit the lottery. Well, at least the United Spurs of America lottery. Swim Master. Good evening, Jacob, and all in the chat. Good evening, Swim Master. How are you doing? Just like Angel Spurs, better late than never, bro. Hey, as soon as you can get here, just get here. That's all that matters. But big up, Rich. Lily White, how are you doing? All the way in London. Saw you comment on one of the other videos. The algorithm. Look, I always say hit a like on the video, participate in the chat, participate in the poll, because honestly, all of that helps me fight the daily battle versus the algorithm. Now, Lily White was so kind to let me know that the algorithm did something good. So I just want to put a dub in the chat right now for the algorithm. Thank you, YouTube, the YouTube overseers, the matrix makers, whatever you want to call them. But the algorithm found a way to Lily White all the way in London, so I appreciate it. Just want to say thank you to the algorithm. Craig, the Gecko Man, says, big up, Jacob and Chewy. Big up, Craig the Gecko Man, but sorry, Chewy, I don't know what he's doing. He don't want to, I don't know what's going on here. He heard Chewy Cam, and ever since then, he's been acting different. Chang, big up Chang, says, fully expecting, embracing myself for yet another Luton away match day in 20 hours time. The gilt edge chances will be there for the taking, but if Richarlison starts, another nail-biting finish is on. We will talk about it. This is the preview show. There will not be another show on this channel. I mean, there's going to be plenty of shows before the game, but not on this channel specifically. Hopefully I can bring you something in the afternoon after the match. But I can't do a watch along. My wife will be working during the match, so my son and I will watch the game together. But after the match, we'll be doing like a, just general, how you doing? Hey, how's it feel? But big up Chang. We'll talk about starting lineups here in a little bit. I want to hear y'all's predicted. But honestly, for me, a little spoiler alert, I'm picking somebody else to start over Richarlison. I know that he's got the 3 assists and the goal, which is technically more goal contributions than, hang on, let me see, because I have it here. You know what, let me just share it, because I think I shared it yesterday, no, I didn't have a show yesterday, but the day before. I don't remember when it was, but I shared this with y'all. Let me go ahead, bam, let me switch that, bow, like that, and let me click the tweet. Let me put those DMs away. Richarlison really as bad as people think, is what he says. Then he goes on to show these. Chang, I'm going to put this down for 1 second. So in the Premier League, he has more goal contributions than Gabriel Martinelli, than Højlund, which I think is kind of unfair because United are in a rough place. Marcus Rashford and Jesus, Gabriel Jesus. So Jesus, whatever you want to call him. They said that, and hey, that's one way to look at it. But when I watch Richarlison, I'm so frustrated most of the time that honestly, those numbers are great and I like them and I think they're cool and I love to use it to beat rival fans in the face with. I will use that 100%. But for me, I just want to see something different out of that position. Big up Chang, gifting another 5 memberships. Big up Chang. Everyone put a dub in the chat for Chang right now. Let me see who got gifted. Bald Bean Counter, welcome to the family. You've been gifted a membership. Swim Master, you've been gifted a membership. Lisa, Hey, you get another membership. Daryl Denton got a membership. Big up, Daryl Denton. Good to see you in the chat. I mean, I don't think you've chatted, but hey, it shows that you're here because you got a membership. Matt Cook as well got the membership. Dubs in the chat for Chang. Appreciate that. Chang, always showing love here to the channel. It is very much appreciated. Thank you so much. Look, 3% even in the poll says draw incoming. We got a few people chiming in who think that we're going to get a draw. Well, hey, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. And I wonder what makes you think that. Maybe it's something Crystal Palace are doing that I'm just not aware of yet. But big up, Chang. Appreciate you grabbing those memberships. But spoiler alert, I do think someone else will be starting in the Richarlison position. Personally, but big up Zapur as well in the house. How are you doing? Good morning. Ren says big up crew, says follow your heart. I always try to. Ren, how are you doing? Good to see you here. Good morning as well to all the people out there in Australia down under. Happy Friday, because you're about to start your weekend, y'all, so big up yourself right now. Bogosian, hey, how you doing? That's a new name in the chat. Welcome here. It says cheers for your effort and the heart you put in your work, mate. Love your stream. You're the GOAT. Hey, big up. First time I've seen this name. Maybe you changed your name in a different picture, but it's my first time seeing you here in the chat. Big up yourself right now. Don't know where you're tuning in from, but good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, wherever it may be. It's just after 5 p.m. here in El Paso, Texas. Beautiful weather. It's starting to cool off. The windows have been open, and it's just like one of those things you can't help but feel immaculate when you go outside, if you know what I'm saying. But big up Rich says, you look immaculate, Jacob. Oh, thank you so much. You bless me. Big up Lily White as well. Says Palace have a few missing. I'm nervous AF, to be honest, but that's a me thing more than this team. I think Ainge will have liked second half against Fulham. Timely reminder of the basics needed. Look, there's a lot of reasons why I think that this will be low scoring, and then there's some reasons why I think could be an X factor as to why there actually may be some goals into this. Look, Ange Postecoglou said the second half at Fulham was the worst ball. He was very upset, very grumpy old man, I think was a quote he said. So I do want to acknowledge that, and I think with that, he will drill it into them that we have to be more clinical. This is not the first match that we've walked away saying, hey, look, we should have got more out of that. Hey, big up Nate Pete. No, shoot, not Nate. Nate. I used to call you Nate Pie, but you said stop calling me Nate Pie. You said just call me Nate. But big up, Nate. How you doing, Nate? You making me feel great. Says, g'day, mate. Looking forward to a win in the morning. Hey, it is in the morning for you, afternoon for me, but same time, we all get to speak the love language of Tottenham Hotspur with Ange Postecoglou. I have a beautiful guest in the back who has now joined us, and I'll be bringing him on in one moment, but I just have to say, Nate, thank you so much. Large super chat, the first super chat of the day. You and Chang have you've gone above and beyond the call of booty here on the channel. Now, the call of booty, as you know, just hit a like, participate in the poll. You don't have to chat. There's a lot of people who just hang out. They don't chat. That's cool. You can just listen, do, the dishes, hang out, do your family thing, whatever you want to do. I appreciate the support. What I will say is the simple things are free. Like, subscribe if you're new. We're on the road to 3K, so choo-choo. Let's hop on that train as well. But big up. This is above and beyond. You're spending your hard-earned money, your Australian dollars, to say good day, looking forward to the win in the morning. What a beautiful message. I hope you have a great Friday. I hope it is better than yesterday, and I hope that your tomorrow is greater than today. How about that? So big up, Nate. I appreciate you being here. But without further ado, I'm going to keep working my way through the chat to make sure I acknowledge every single one of you. But the next comment I'm pulling up is the next person I'm bringing on. So a lot of you people haven't gotten a good dose of this man, Staffy TV. Maybe you have if you tune into some bigger channels, because let's put it frank, he's now a celebrity. He's a hot commodity. He's a guy that some may say he's the Jennifer Lopez of YouTube. He's been around. He's been here. He's been there. You know what I'm saying? All respect to J-Lo. But let me go ahead and bring on Staffy without further ado. What's going on, buddy?
First of all, you said, can you hear me well?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, you said I'm bringing on a beautiful guest. Hey, yo.
That's not an Ayo. That's not an Ayo.
It is Ayo because Ayo's in the comment right there. You were talking about makeup a while ago, so that's the second Ayo. And thirdly, you said I'm famous. Listen, I'm humbled, but I'm really not famous. But it is my debut on this beautiful channel.
That is right. I didn't say that. Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie. I'm a bit happy to be here. You already know I'm a big fan of your channel, especially that intro. I can hear the music still in the background right now, and I might go back later and watch this. So like, look, Mama, I made it. I made it on the biggest Spurs channel in the US. But listen, man, I appreciate the kind words. Obviously, for people who don't know, me and Jacob work a lot on my channel, on other channels, but it's the first time we work on his channel. So maybe as a little welcome for me, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to his channel if it's new, and subscribe to my channel if this is the first time you hear about me. But thank you for having me, Jacob.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, you know, some people may look at this from a bird's eye view and say, Staffy TV, what is the relevance here? We're not playing Man United, we're playing Crystal Palace. But I put it this way: when I got a good person on the channel who creates content or doesn't create content, doesn't matter. But if you're a good person and you know ball, you always have a chair here on this channel. Whether I'm playing your club or I'm playing some other club, I know you know what you're talking about. You go on other channels and you talk with your chat. You know. And also, hey, I've heard you on the biggest of stages defending Tottenham Hotspur when the whole world didn't want to defend us, to be quite honest. So, you know what? The way I see it, Spurs fans, if they don't know you, they should. But I'm working on putting your channel link in the title, so it'll be there momentarily. So that way you can make sure to go subscribe to Staff. He's always
people don't know it's right behind me. It's up here. For people who don't know, there's a reason why this sign's behind me. Actually, let me turn it off because maybe the lighting is too bright and it's ruining it. Oh, let me do this. See, when I turn off the sign, you can read it a little bit better. That's Staffy TV.
Yeah, you can. That's clean.
Yeah, that's Staffy underscore TV. So, the United Spurs of America, it's going to take the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm going to need a whole damn wall behind me.
You're going to have to, like, zoom out by, like, 5 extra feet. You know, it's not going to work. But big up, by the way, Rich in the comments saying he absolutely loved the American Waffle Show yesterday. Yeah. I know you take the comments in order, but it is the last comment. Big up, Rich. I think... I do that, but I jump ahead in the chat for, like, obviously super chats. Shout out Nate, he's a member, so that's why I wrote that as well.
Yeah, no, big up Rich. Rich is one of the OGs here on the channel, because when I go around and I talk about, I said we need to sign a player like Mickey Van de Veen. Rich is one of those guys that's like, yes, Jacob was saying it on his channel back in January. Go get Mickey Van de Veen from Wolfsburg. So I like not only the fact that, you know, that he's a member and always here every day supporting the channel in that way, but they know. I like the people that remember the things that I say, because, you know, no, I'm not saying I prophesized or I willed into existence Mickey Van de Veen, but I threw it out there. And sometimes they say you can manifest whatever you put your energy into. But yeah, big up to Joe Hong as well. Joe Hong's in the house. Big up Ravi in the house. Futility says, don't worry, Jacob, you're in your prime. That makes me feel better. Big up Nick Brown. It is the evening. Your hair looks great. I predict the shampoo commercial being offered to you. Look, anyone in the shampoo business, holler at your boy. You know anyone who works at Celsius? I know my boy right here, Staffy, drinks a lot of Celsius. Hook us up with he's going to product placement right now. I'm not going to do that because they don't sponsor the channel, but there it is. Which one is that? Ooh,
the guava.
Oh, guava. Yeah. That one's light on the flavor. I like that.
It's probably my favorite
smack
one.
you in the face.
It's my favorite one, I think. Yeah.
That orange one really pounds you in the face, but this is not.
I don't like the orange
placement.
one. You know, I actually don't like the orange one. Yeah. So next time I get a pack, I'm gonna take the orange out and I'm gonna ship it to you. Just send me your address and we can just exchange. You send me the guava kiwi and I'll send you the orange.
Yeah, absolutely. So hook us up with that the sponsorship.
Hook us up with the membership as well, guys, and then also sponsor associates. Sponsor us.
But big up Ball Bean Counter. Welcome to the United Spurs of America family. Todd Spurs is in the house. Good to see you. Kev Williams, how you doing? Big up Jacob. 5 points clear on the top of the pile. Here we go. Coys. Big up. Love to see it. Ash here says, I'm Indian, so I definitely know someone who works in EA. We all work in IAT, unfortunately. I will tell him, hey, we need big Papa Ainge Postecoglou's face in the game, because how am I going to start a career mode and try and stream it on a channel if it ain't even got the manager's face? It's got some AI generated face. I don't want to see that. I want to see Ainge's face. But big up Ash, and you're staying up late. It's like 5 a.m. out there for Ash in India. So big up to all the viewers, whatever time you are tapping in. Hope you're feeling too blessed to be stressed. Big up Daniel Sandoval as well. Didn't want to miss that. C Cubed is in the house. Big up C Cubed. James Paratrooper dropping in from the skies. Mick Dundee, 10 a.m. here in Melbourne. Come on, you Spurs, get your coffee, get your caffeinated beverage. It's time for the show. We'll be predicting Palace. Obviously, I have some tweets and stuff that I want to go through, and then just get kind of a neutral reaction from my boy Staffy here. But again, the vibes will remain immaculate. That is one of the only requirements here on the channel. I encourage you to hit the like. You don't have to hit the like, but I encourage you to do so. I encourage you to participate in the poll, and why not chat with us? It's absolutely free, costs you nothing. But big up Chang as well, again, for just gifting those 5 memberships. So big up Chang every single time. Ilias Tugra says, guys, we should sell in January. Lo Celso, Højbjerg, Sessegnon, Dyer. Income might be around 60 to 70 million.
Can't sell all that in January, Elias. I mean, I'm not a Spurs fan, but I'll tell you, as a football fan, you can't sell all these players in January. Especially that you're not going to get replacements in January. Some players, listen, I don't know who's on Ange Postecoglou's list, but some of them don't want to leave mid-season. And sometimes you look at January as more of a how do I say this? It's more of an emergency transfer window where you just bring in players for whatever competition you're trying to win. You need a center back, you need a striker, you need a midfielder, etc. You bring them in, and then you do the massive overhaul in the summer where it's a massive sale or a massive incoming. So big up for the chat, but I don't think it's a smart idea to try to generate all that money just to not be able to reinvest it in the same summer. I mean, in the same transfer window.
Yeah. No, that would be tough. But hey, I've said on different channels, I think I said last night on American Waffle, this is not even the final product of what we're trying to look like as a squad. Ange Postecoglou is doing this. Yes, 7 starters are new, but he didn't pick Udogie. He didn't pick Romero. He didn't pick Son. He didn't pick, you know what I'm saying? He did have an effect on who we brought this summer, and I do have a tweet on that I'll bring up at some point. But I do only have you for a certain amount of time before you have to go. So I do want to get into Crystal Palace with you. Now, everybody in the chat, as you know, I will come along and I will say hello. But the guest is only here for a short amount of time. It's going to be short, but it's going to be good. So I want to get their view on a couple things. So first and foremost, Crystal Palace, 7 goals scored, 11 goals conceded. Before Newcastle, it was 7-7. But Newcastle did skunk them 4-0. So I think that is a little maybe something that we could look over in regards to their form, and especially their form at Selhurst Park. Look, Tottenham Hotspur historically have not had a great time going to Selhurst Park away. But I still think, look, they're missing Eze, they're missing Olise. There's no excuse. We're top of the league. We should go out there and put the work on them. But that's a should. Do you see it as a chance for Tottenham Hotspur to go out there and really make a statement win, go away from home, win 3-0, and then that really solidifies, that we're supposed to be here? And that no challenge, every challenge we faced thus far that we've been able to conquer. So my question for you, long form anyway, is do you think if Spurs go in there and get a 3-0 win, do you see that as, okay, they're still making the argument as to why they deserve to be there? Or do you see it as, oh, that's just Crystal Palace?
Did you say a 3-0 win, or are you just talking about a win?
I'm saying if we go in there tomorrow, get a 3-0 win, does that send a message to you? Because look, from all ranges of it, because you work with all club content creators. So go shout out at Staffy TV, go subscribe there. You find all content creators over there. So the temperature when I say, look, Spurs are top of the league. You have these people that will say it's luck, it's a fluke, new manager bounce. Some people will say, yeah, they're playing good ball. There's a wide range, I'm sure, that you've heard on your channel.
Yeah, 100%.
So for you, if we go in there, do you think it changes the temperature a little bit, or does it just feed the narratives that they've already said, that we're lucky, that we haven't faced anybody good, and these excuses? What do you think?
Well, as someone who faced Palace already twice, because we beat them in the cup and then they beat us in the league, I'll tell you something. You don't need to go tomorrow and beat them 3-0. I feel like the fact that you're talking about that, it's more because of like how the rivals, I wouldn't say they're getting to you personally, but they are getting to most Spurs fans in terms of, as what you said, oh, you guys haven't faced anyone serious yet. You faced Luton, you faced this, you faced that. And they're trying to say that you guys have been lucky and all that. And I hear it. I don't agree with it, but I hear it. But at the same time, I don't think you have anything to prove tomorrow in terms of how many goals you need to score. You need to go and get a win to back up all the stuff you guys have been saying. And when I say you, I don't mean you as Jacob. I mean I mean you Spurs fans, the ones that saying, listen, we can contend for the league, we can be up there, we can solidify top 4, we can all that stuff. Whatever the ambition is, tomorrow you need to go. And in my opinion, you should win, and you could win. It doesn't matter to me though how many goals you score. Because I'll tell you something, we put 3 past them, and then we lost to them 3 days later in the league. And they were terrible when they beat us. They had barely any shots on target. Like I don't even remember the stats on the back of my head like that. But
You know what? I
they're
can pull
not
it
a
up.
good team. Go
So
and check because
you're
they
referring
were
to when they beat you 1-0, right?
1-0, yeah. 1-0. And they weren't that impressive.
Bro, I'm looking at the attack momentum. Let me go ahead. Let me share this screen real
It's
quick.
probably horrific, bro.
So right below me, here's the attack momentum. Green is
Move that,
Manchester
move that.
United. Yeah, let me hang on. I like your Thundercat logo too, Lily White. It's cool. Look, right underneath me is the attack momentum. All that green you see is Manchester United. Now the little blue dips, that's Crystal Palace.
Yeah. And they scored in the first half, if I'm correct. They scored early.
And they had Ezzy.
Yeah. They're not a good team. Listen, they defend a bit decent. I'm not gonna lie, they were defending well against us, but we also didn't create anything against them. If I'm being very honest, there was no clear-cut chances. I remember that game watching. I was like, I can't really remember us doing anything to say that ball should have won in or that ball we were unlucky on. We didn't have enough of these chances. That's different with you guys. You guys have, I think, if I am correct, you're in top 6 in the league this season in terms of XG and all that. So you guys have been creating way more chances than us. You've been playing better football than us anyways. And I believe this game is going to be the same. The only reason I'm saying the score won't matter, because I'll tell you something. I remember Big Up Lily White saying sub for Staffy TV. Everyone else should be doing
It is
the
in the
same thing.
title of the video now. So you'll see Jacob TV, and then you also see at Staffy TV. So go subscribe to both of those, but subscribe to Staffy TV first and foremost. If you want content, like I said, I go over there. I join Staffy and TJ. We do a weekly show called American Waffle. We did one last night, but every Monday night we do a weekly show over there. So if you want more of me as well, I always bang my chest because, hey, ain't nobody else up here with us but the Tottenham Hotspur fans. So
let me tell you something for people who haven't subbed yet, by the way. If you do go to my channel before you sub, you're going to see that the #1 suggested video is episode 2 of American Waffle. Me, Jacob, and TJ.
I'm absolutely shameless. When I go on Staffy TV,
there's
because on this channel, I try to just always keep immaculate vibes. I try not to be too hot and aggressive. I try not to be too cold. You know what I'm saying? I just try and be authentic and keep immaculate vibes. Now, when I go on Staffy TV, I feel like somebody woke me up. You know, when Michael Jackson becomes the beast at the end of the Thriller video, it's like that. When I go on Staffy TV, the demon inside comes out. I don't know what it is.
The filter is off and all the F words are coming out. All the waffles.
No, that was for the NBA watch along that I was too casual. That's I was just relaxing in my recliner playing FIFA on an NBA watch along on Staffy TV. So, like I said, a lot of great content going on Staffy TV. But while we still got you for another 11 minutes, 10 minutes, it just take. Look, Crystal Palace, you said that they really didn't offer much. And I would say that they're an even weaker side now, given the fact that Ep80 is not in that squad. So I don't know really where the goal threats are going to be coming from. But what I do know is that Palace does have some good squad members that I have looked at personally, in the likes of Jonathan Lerma. I think he was absolutely critical in helping Bournemouth stay up last season. But they picked him up. I think that is an improvement.
I just remember who scored against us. It was Anderson, the defender. He scored like a world.
Yeah, Joachim Anderson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you said that, I was like, yeah, he's the one that scored. The goal that he scored, by the way, was a worldie. If he tries that goal 9 more times, he's gonna miss all 9 of them.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. I must have missed that. I didn't.
It was the corner, and it bounced to him, and he hit it first time in the air, and it just went.
Oh, I love at the top of the box.
Yeah,
I like those.
Like he's not gonna score a goal like that in his career again.
I mean, he's
just one of those.
Yeah, I mean, he's a center back.
I'm saying he's just one of those, and that's what I'm saying. It's not about how many goals you score tomorrow. I promise you, if you guys win 1-0, they're gonna be able to look. Oh, they barely scraped past Palace, only 1-0. But you guys, I think you've beaten everyone else with more than 1 goal besides Luton, which is a weird one because I swear Luton is like probably the worst team that you guys faced so far. But I'll tell you something else. Leicester in 2016 won the league with how many 1-0s? Like, I would love for someone in the chat right now to go and check and let me know how many 1-0s that Leicester have that season. And I'm not saying you're going to win the league if you win 1-0s. The story that I'm trying to tell is it doesn't really matter how many goals you score. You guys have had games where you scored a lot of goals, and you've had games where you could say you scraped it because you weren't taking your chances or you just couldn't create as much. But at the end of the day, 3 points are 3 points, because I'm sitting here trying to tell you about the Palace game. The only thing I remembered vividly was that we lost. I didn't really remember the details until it started coming back to my memory. But when we sit there and we're talking, we're gonna be like, yeah, you got 3 points against this team, and you didn't get 3 points against this team. So you're gonna be met with hate by rivals and all that stuff, and we already talked about that. But what matters at the end of the day is that you got the win. Doesn't matter if it's 1, 2, 3, or even 4-0. And that's just my honest opinion, as a neutral in all this.
Yeah. Big up Kev Williams. I started this. I'll talk about it when Staffy leaves. He's not going to be here for too long, but don't worry. If you got any questions for me, I will start along the way. And Ray Chrisley, I do not know what the weather will be like for tomorrow, but I know in El Paso it's hopefully going to be nice and cool like it was today. And I don't know what the weather
It's
like out
hot
there.
here today in Jersey.
Is it hot out there?
Bro, I walked out. I swear, I walked out of my room and I just felt like some heat. And I'm like, did I leave the oven on? I swear. And I was like, I went to check the oven. It was off. And it was because I had the windows open. I was like, is it summer again? It's summer in October 26th in New Jersey. Global warming did its thing.
Hey, global warming, climate change, whatever you want to call it, it's two cheeks of the same ass. But look, Spurs, top of the league. Now, this is just going to be in general. I kind of got your idea for Crystal Palace, but as just big picture now. 9 games in, say we go and we do what we're supposed to do versus Palace. That's now 5 points clear, top of the table. At what point do you, as a rival, how long would it take? Because I know Spurs fans would say, oh, right now I believe we can challenge for the title. Some, like me, I'm saying if we're in and around the top in January and we recruit well and we do what we're supposed to do business-wise in January, that there's no limit to what we could do if we're in and around 3 to 5 points of the top spot. That's my opinion. And at that juncture is when I think I'll start going, yeah, we're in a title race, and I'll be delusional as hell about it. And I'll be shameless as hell about it as well. Staffy, you know me. But what I'm saying is...
I have a show named after you. It's called Waffle.
we
American Waffle.
But there are Spurs fans that'll tell you, oh, it's around May, it's around March, I ain't believing it till I see it type of thing. Then some say December, some say. So as a rival, when would you say, maybe not a rival, but like as a neutral non-Spurs fan, what would you say? When would you start to say, oh, guys, I know you're not challenging for a title, but if you're in City's position or Arsenal or Liverpool, you start saying, okay, these guys are actually legitimate. How many games? We're now a fourth of the way after this month. We'll be a quarter of the way through the season.
I think late January is where I usually can tell where a team is going to finish. Not specifically one position, but I can tell you the range. Like I think by late January going to February, I can really tell if a team is going to finish top 2, top 3, top 4, whatever it is, the situation, relegation zone, just mid-table. Like it starts to show, because I think the hardest period in the Premier League is somewhere around January. Basically after Christmas, Boxing Day and all the fixture congestion around that time, going into January. If you make it out of that period alive, you kind of know where you're going to finish, But for all I know, you can be first place going into New Year's, and you can print shirts on your chest of the table, and then you end up losing the league. So that's what I'm saying. You can't really, if you didn't get that was a diss at AFTV. But
oh, I just realized you said print the shirt and everything at Christmas.
I said you got the table on your chest. Listen, I forgot about
that. That was funny. That was.
It was
Look,
early January.
But it's kind of interesting, and isn't it ironic that it's Arsenal's dirtiest rivalry? I'll say. Like some Arsenal fans, they try and disregard it because of recent history, but to me, that's hogwash. They came from Woolwich, they belong in Woolwich, but look. I'm not here to say when it is a possibility, but I will tell you when it is not an impossibility. And to say that Spurs can win the league or that it's impossible, again, I would say send me the link on Amazon for that crystal ball that you got that can predict the future so well. That's be my first
There's
thing.
just so many things that need to go right for you, Jacob.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing. Like
But
if
you
I'm
know
sitting
what?
here and I'm making bets, I
Yeah.
wouldn't bet on Spurs at the moment. Because you need to go through a season without major injuries to your best players, because you don't have a lot of them. You have some good players, don't get me wrong. I actually like your starting 11 a lot. And I've said it before that you guys actually have a better starting 11 than us. And people thought I was crazy for saying that. Just because Man United is a bigger name than Spurs doesn't mean that we're always going to have this 11. I think you guys have a better 11 than us. However, you don't have the bench to back it up. And I don't want to be repeating what everyone's been saying. The thing is, like you said, if you go into the January and you back up well, so you get a couple backups for whatever position the manager thinks he needs to strengthen in. Same time, you can go a season without getting injuries, or you can get injuries to both of your best players. You don't know that. That injury that we thought Madison picked up against Arsenal, I'm pretty sure. Listen, I wasn't with you when we were watching it, but I'm pretty sure when you saw that knee hyperextend for Madison, your heart definitely dropped. You were like, you know what?
Look, they say there's this human natural reaction that when we were cavemen, if we saw a saber-toothed tiger, our body, if you're a male specifically, of the male persuasion, well, not persuasion, but if you're born a male and you got the testicles, all right, they get sucked up in whenever you sense danger because they want to protect your jewels, your livelihood, and that sometimes like you got to go to a hospital. Like shout out Nurse Jackie. I watched.
Where
the show.
Are we going with this? Is what I want.
Look, hey, trust me. Sometimes don't worry about the journey. The destination will be somewhere sweet, but the journey sometimes could look a little funny, Staffy. That's how it goes here on the channel. But what I'm saying is, when he hyperextended his knee like that, my saber-toothed tiger natural instinct kicked in, and I was like, oh my God, because I just seen it about 8 months ago with Mr. Rodrigo Bentancur. I saw it.
True.
He did the same thing and he was gone. And then look, he iced his knee or he was on the boot or whatever after the match and everyone was losing their shit. That is one of those positions where this is why I can't fully be in the swimming pool of we for sure are challenging for a title this year. The reason why I'm not for sure like 100% in that pool, I got my feet in the pool. I'm enjoying it. I'm thinking it could happen, but I'm not believing it's going to happen yet because of that. James Madison goes out, we're completely different. Youngman Dad, Youngman Son, Youngman Hung goes out, we look completely different. If Papi Cuti Romero goes out, we look completely different. Van de Veen goes out, we look completely different. Udogi goes out, we look completely different. Vicario, we look different. If it's Hugo Lloris, he ain't getting that double shot or the double save versus Arsenal or Liverpool, whoever it was. I can't remember because both of them, LOL. But I'm just saying, for me to be fully in, I'm going to need to see us in and around top spot, 6 points in January. So you're saying officially on the record, I know you kind of went around like a politician about it, Staffy, but at what point, give me a day, a number, a date, your birthday, whenever, mid-January, late January.
Late January, yeah. I want to see, because you guys will have a big advantage, in my opinion, in that period where you're out of one competition, which is the Cup, the League Cup. So you're not going to have to worry about that because I swear the League Cup final was somewhere around February 8th. A couple of the big teams will be in that. I guarantee it. So a couple of the big teams will be in it. We're going to be right after the Champions League break because the Champions League takes a break, I swear, from the end of December or something. That's going to be a good period for you guys. You guys will have more energy than people, a lot of people, you and Chelsea, in my opinion. So around that time, we will see. If you guys have a complete team, and you don't listen when you're playing a game every 3 days like everyone else will, and you don't have many injuries and you're still winning, if I see that, then I'm gonna put you in this conversation. But I'm just staying consistent because that's usually any team for me. I wait for that period to make any judgments on how this season is gonna go. Last season we lost so many players during that period because we had not Champions League, Europa League, and all the other cups plus Premier League. We had a thin squad. It took a toll on our season towards the end anyways. That was our best period, don't get me wrong. But then eventually, we just broke down because everyone started getting injured. So I'll see how that period goes. And listen, if you guys are still somewhere about in that time, late January, and not major injuries, and I know you're getting Bentancur back, and hey, listen, God knows who else he's going to sign, because clearly he knows who he wants and he's identifying the right players, we could be having a completely different conversation. But before I go, I will remind you and everyone else, at least I invested in Spurs stocks early. I have no hatred towards Spurs. Everyone wants to say, oh, Staffy's working for Spurs. He has a Spurs jersey. He's a closet Spurs fan. I'm just saying what I see, and what I see is a team that deserves respect, and that's all it is. And if it doesn't happen, bro, then listen, I'll join the hate along, even though I don't hate Spurs. I'll start making fun. But until then, I'm not gonna be a hater and just predict your downfall for no reason. You know.
Well, I appreciate your non-partial takes here on the channel. It's non-partial and very well balanced, I think, and that's why I rate your opinion. Like I said before, when I brought you on, I said, look, this guy, we're not playing United, but I trust your outlook on the league. I know how well-rounded you are as far as ball knowledge. And look, I love your damn channel. I love it so much. I do a damn show on it once a week. So go right now. It's in the title, Staffy TV. Click that link. Go subscribe to my man. I don't know when the next time you're live is. Do you want to share that with the people?
I'll be live tomorrow with Nobbins, the Manchester City fan. We're gonna be doing
I like him. He's a very smart guy.
Yeah, we'll be talking about the Premier League fixtures. I forgot that you guys are playing tomorrow, so I was like, oh, Spurs actually play on Friday, not Saturday. So we got to change the time of the show. So I don't know what time we're going to do it. Probably it's going to be 6 p.m. UK time. So wherever you are, translate that into your time. So it's probably going to be 6 p.m. UK time. Me and Nobbins, we're going to be reviewing the games. And obviously we're going to be reviewing the big game, which is the Manchester Derby. Don't ask me for my predictions right now because I'm going to try to sleep easy because Saturday night.
I forgot. I didn't even get to ask you about the Derby. Come on.
Good thing you forgot because now I can run away without having to talk about that game.
Yeah.
But listen, you can be in the comments tomorrow. So can everyone else. So make sure you subscribe to Staffy TV. Make sure you show Jacob some love, doing amazing work on his channel and everyone else's channel. I invested in Jacob stocks early before anyone else did because I told them this guy knows what he's talking about. And he's, to me, I find him entertaining. You guys could sit here and say he has that radio voice that puts you to sleep. He definitely doesn't put me to sleep because I find him very entertaining. So make sure you show him love. Keep up the likes, the super chats, the memberships, everything that he asks you for. And Jacob, thanks for having me.
Man, I appreciate it. It was a debut. It was short and sweet. But look, I tell you like I tell other people that I support their content. I support them as human beings. I got to support you as a human being first and foremost. But secondly, I support the content. And I want to say like that I'll only have people on here that I want to promote as like that I think are good people. So, hey, I appreciate you being here. Go subscribe if you want to see the same, if you're into the same things as me, which is good people and good content. And there's always some fun. It gets a little rowdy sometimes, but it's all in good fun over there. 100%. But
make sure you check out American Waffle. Yes. That's when we see the other side of Jacob.
Yeah, sometimes the other side of me will come out when sometimes I could just get riled up. That's all. Yeah, TJ's an instant trigger, not gonna lie. Shout out TJ Warren TV. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming on. There he is, Staffy
Enjoy the rest of your
TV.
show.
Yeah, appreciate you being here, buddy. Take care. Have a great rest of your night. There he goes, Staffy TV. Make sure you go subscribe. What a good guy. Let me catch up here on the chat. I have not forgot about y'all, chat. Don't worry. Kevin Williams says, what's your thoughts on Richie? Will he come good, or will we offload him sooner rather than later? Look, what I'll say about Richarlison is this. I like that he's got some goal contributions. I like what I've seen from him as far as off-the-ball work, pressing, he wins the ball back for us as a winger. Kulusevski does the same thing. But when it comes to both of them, at the end of the day, they don't get me up off my chair. I don't watch them and think, oh, anything can happen here. I think, oh, here we go. Just don't fuck it up. And I don't know that that's like the greatest place for me. But look, some people really do like what Kulusevski has to offer, and I think he has some good things he needs to offer. I would like him to be more clinical. Richarlison, I just don't think he's good enough. But they both possess this style of winger that I think, I don't know this for a fact, but I'm assuming that I guess Ange Postecoglou likes that kind of winger in the Premier League right now, at least until he gets to go ahead and buy a left winger and a right winger on his own. I think that the fact that Richarlison is a similar style winger to Kulusevski, he's not fast, he's not going to spread the pitch, really give the back line something to think about vertically. He's not going to give him that. What he is going to give you is power on the ball, and the things that aforementioned, the off the ball pressing when you ball back in dangerous areas. But look, I just don't think he's clinical enough. When he's presented with certain opportunities, he does not make the most of them, and that's just not good enough. You present that option to Valise, does he do better? You present that option to Brendan Johnson, does he do better? Obviously, we saw when you give Son the number 9 role and you present him with those options, he will do better than that. So I just don't see him cutting it right now. But I hope I'm wrong. And I think, again, just to add a little bit more, Richarlison specifically, I think is getting the start and the nod ahead of others just purely based off the fact of availability. Perisic would start, Solomon started, and they obviously all got injured. Brendan Johnson got injured, but he did start the London Derby as well. So, look, he's not first option for Ange Postecoglou. It's just a guy that we have to use at this point. But We'll be interested to see if we can get him going. Big up Ryman Islam. Big up Akif as well in the house is big up. But big up Ryman says, hey, Yakub and Chewy, big respect to Staffy. He's one of the more measured United fans out there. I like the way he holds Hussam to account for his unhealthy hatred of Spurs. Look, Staffy's very balanced. That's why I said I bring him on here. I rate him as a panelist member and as a human being. So, but big up Ryman. I do like the way he holds Hussam accountable. Big up Ball Bean Counter as well. Says, well, we were 10 men against Luton, and we're unlucky to not be 3 up in the first 10 minutes. Unlucky, I don't think it's unlucky. We were not clinical. Again, that's like Richarlison, if he finished 2 of those, we up 2-0 in 5 minutes. And it looks a whole lot different. Drunk Vigo, big up. Always calling me the Shello man, but he's here nonetheless supporting the channel. So big up Drunk Vigo. BX Gunner 81 as well. Another rival fan in the house, but showing support. Says, Son and Madison alone scored 2/3 of our goals. That is true. Big up. Yep, I am out here in El Paso. Big up, just subscribe to Jacob T. Hey, that's the secondary channel. That's where I do all the FIFA content. So if you're into that, we have some fun late at night doing those. Big up Danny Kiriakou in the houses. Big up lads. Also remember how many close calls Liverpool had when they won the title. The amount of games they got last minute winners or 1-0 when they played bad, they still won or scraped it. Danny Kiriakou, that is the tall tale signs of a championship caliber team. Winning when it's not pretty. Winning when everything's against you. Being resilient in times of pressure. And we've done that. Liverpool, specifically like what you're talking about, the first instance that comes to mind is Alisson was a stoppage time header to win it in the rain late in the season. Oh my God, it was insane. So yeah, look, Liverpool were fantastic that season. Did they always do it in a Manchester City form? No. You don't have to be Man City to win the league. You just got to be as better than your opponent on any given day. And look, 9 matches so far, we've been the better team. That's just how I see it. Arsenal, we should have won. Brentford, if Sonny's in the 9, we win. If they don't call that penalty, that weak-ass, soft-ass penalty that they called for Brentford, where Sonny's trailing foot went over the top of Homeboy's foot, and then they set a penalty, and then a week later, James Maddison gets kicked in the Achilles. Look, I'm not bitter about it. I'm just saying I ain't forgot. Keep that same energy. But when I look at the points that we haven't been able to get, or the moments in which we haven't been able to get the full 3 points, I look back and I say, we should have won Brentford. We should have won Arsenal. And then some of these wins, we should have won them more convincingly. We are not firing on all cylinders as an Ange Postecoglou's Tottenham Hotspur yet. We do not have all the Ange Postecoglou players in the system to run the way. He's making do with what he's got, and look at how we're running so far. So I hear the argument of people, and I agree with them. When Liverpool starts clicking on all cylinders, they're going to be a title contender. I agree with that. Arsenal, I don't believe that, but a lot of people will tell you that they're title contenders. But hey, I was also told that they were going to beat us 4-1, 5-0 at their own home, and technically we dominated them and should have won the match. And they only scored off Buhu Saka getting lucky on a couple times. But look, that's neither here nor there. It is what it is, not living in the past. I'm just saying, when I look back in the moments we've responded well when things have been against us and when things haven't gone our way. We've come back twice to end up winning. We've come back in the last dying embers of the match. We force a team and apply pressure to force an own goal from it. We have this resiliency about us that is a championship necessity. You do not become a title winning in any sport if you do not have moments where it doesn't look good, it doesn't look great, things are going against you, but yet you somehow still get the dub. That's what I'm talking about. We are those people to go in there and get that dub. That's what I'm talking about. And look, at some point we will lose. At some point we will face adversity. That's gonna happen. I can't fucking wait until somebody's good enough to beat us, because then that is the next test that we have. How do we respond when we lose? And then the test after that, hey, how do we respond once we lose and then that result? There's so many different variables that happen, but I'm excited for the test. I said this on Time Added On earlier. Shout out Alan Clark. I said this on Time Added On earlier that I really feel as though my screen just refreshed. That really threw me off. But I said, God dang it, losing my train of thought because the screen refreshed on me. I don't even remember where I was going with that. But there you go. There's a nice little rant off the top of my head. Big up Danny Kiriakou, sparking a lot of thought there for me. Gary Officer's in the house. Maybe I'll remember what I was talking about. I'm 2-1 Spurs win. I think it will be a tough game, but we need to start fast, score, and not look back. Big up Gary Officer in the house. 80 in Charlotte. That's nice weather. Jacob, did you see the positive transfer news of Lloris and Dyer contracts being run down to the summer? We ain't wanting them. Hey, look, Joshua, goodbye is what I got to say. Goodbye. Thank you for being here. Goodbye. Akeem says Palace has fast players in the front, so I think this match will be one of the hardest matches in the league for us. I became a Spurs fan officially. Big up. I know you're a Galatasaray fan. Hey, y'all got some work to do in that Champions League, but big up. Glad to see you here. Staffy has that sixth sense. Big up LJ Rockshoe is in the house as well. Got some score predictions. Drunk Vigo says Palace 2-1. Ballbean Counter says 3-0 for Spurs. Can't see them scoring. Callum Roche. How you doing, Callum Roche? Evening, Jacob. The second W is silent. Pronounced Woolwich. Even weirder. Hey, no dubs in Woolwich, I guess. Can someone tell my balls they're not in danger? Look, I don't want to see James Madison hyperextend. I don't want to see anybody hyperextend their knee personally. It just don't make me feel good inside. But yeah, there we are. If Levy doesn't back Ainge, he needs to sell the club because it's not about competing at the point. It's just revenue. I agree. Look, we can only hope for the best. Daniel Levy did come out. Now, again, I'm a person who's gone on this platform. If you look back and I've said I want Levy out. But again, if Levy does all the things that I've been asking of, how can I continue to get up here and say Levy out? Because again, what I've asked for, if you're new to the channel, what I've asked for is a pathway from the academy to the first team. I've asked for a philosophy and an ethos that has worked from his way down and is taught throughout from the first team to the U20, 18s, U16s, U15s, U14s, the youngest they go in the academy. I want those dudes playing Ainge ball. Because then when they're old enough and they step into the spot, we can pull from our academy if James Madison gets hurt. Because guess what? We got Jimmy Neutron, who's been training Ainge ball for the past 10 years, as he lives and breathes Ainge ball at Tottenham Hotspur way. That's what I want to see at the club. But look, we are the beginning stages of that. We are starting to build that. So for me, I've asked for that. I've asked for a manager who wants to be here, who wants to see this through. And I've also asked that Daniel Levy allows a manager to be here from the start of the season to the end of the season. I hope and I pray that he gets to see his 4 years out and then some. I'm convinced, give Ainge Postecoglou a 10-year contract. Let's let him build this however he wants. Give him the keys to the city. That's how I feel. Now, I may be over the top. Again, about my regard for Ainge Postecoglou, but the renowned pride I have for my club is something I didn't have last season. The renewed excitement, that I have when we play at 5 a.m. I'm waking up 4:45 like, let's get some fucking Ainge ball, y'all. I can't wait to go dominate some losers. That's how it feels. Like, I didn't feel that last year. I woke up at 5 to watch us play Leeds and Conte ball and win 1-0. And that sucked. And I fell asleep half the time. And then I have to rewatch the match because how could I tell how players played if I was half asleep the entire match? But now it's like, I want to rewatch. I want to see the press conference. When is Ainge speaking? Let me listen. It is the air that I breathe. So like, for me, I agree, Gunnar. I know I'm kind of rambling on about your comment here. But he has to back him. He has to just say, here you go. We've hired some new people that are supposed to be in place to help facilitate that, and my hopes and my beliefs. And Johan Lange and Scott Munn, and then Paratici is still behind the scenes pulling strings. He's out there in Club Bruges trying to get Antonio Nusa to the club, which I sign, seal, approve. I follow that player. I watched him I just started following him when we got linked with him. I never heard of him before then. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying I followed him forever. I just heard of him when I heard Paratici went to Club Bruges to watch him. So that's the first time I heard about him. Then I started keeping up with him. Watched him in an international break. He played out there with the Holland and the Odegaard. Excuse me, the Ghostagard. And you know what? I like the kid. I like the profile. Young, speedy. I feel like he's versatile. Could play a few different positions. Sounds to me like an Ainge kind of player. So I started following him. I would love it. So we got these things in place that I think are going to help be the reason why we do things differently than people have seen. And I'm fine with people judging Spurs based on what they've seen. But what I'm here to tell you, if you have an open mind and you want to look at it more large than just like a 16-year-old Arsenal fan on Twitter being like, no trophies, the history of the Tottenham, Cellini, whatever, that's all cool. You can do that. If that makes you, if it's still funny to do a joke that's like 8 years old, that's fine. Hey, have fun. Whatever makes you have fun, I support it. But to me, it's silly. And I can be silly, but that's like not the fun silly. That's the lame silly. To me, like, if you want to look at this in that way, that's fine. You're making a mistake. And I said that. I said the first 10 matches of the season, 5 to 10 matches, Ange Postecoglou is going to take the world by storm. That has happened because I felt like his uncertainty would make it difficult for opposing managers to have a game plan against him. And so far, that's remained true. But what I will say is I can't wait till we get that first L, because then the next week, I want to see how we respond. It's coming. It's going to happen eventually. As much as I want to say we'll go undefeated, be the new Invincibles, as much as I want to say that, I know that is like 99.9% not going to ever happen. But that's okay. All I want to see us do, I'm keeping my energy the same as it was in the summer. Give me all these things I want, Levy, and then I won't be all mad at you anymore. Because how can I be if you're doing what I asked? You did it bad. I said, naughty, naughty. You said, okay, I did it wrong, and now I fixed it. Now I can't be... that would just be petty to hold on to that. Personally, I know another rant based off of one comment there, but big up BX Gunner in the house. Yeah, go check out American Waffle. Big up Joshua. Swimmaster says... Question, first half of December, we got 4 games in 12 days. Is that a problem? I'm hoping we're all fit, get through it, and hoping we get some more depth in January. I think Levy will back Ainge in that position. Look, there's a lot of skepticism around Levy backing if we're in and around the top spot, because he's going to say, why would I need to buy anything if things are going well? But again, what I had just said earlier in that long spiel, I feel like Hope will answer some of this, that I think he will allow Ainge, Scott Munn, and Johan Lange to make footballing decisions, because guess what, we don't have the debt of this, that we do have the debt of saying, but we don't have like the looming thing that we're the reasons why we didn't back Pochettino in the first place. So here's me wearing my heart on my sleeve saying, please restore me that faith, Daniel Levy. That's where I'm at right now. Staffy always doing the pigeon strut. I don't know what that means. How long does Staffy think Ten Hag will last? Damn it. Sorry I didn't see this, buddy. I want to ask him that, because personally, there's it's funny. Harry Maguire and Scott McTominay keeping that man's job alive. It's absolutely hilarious to me. January makes me shiver. How more can Dan deliver? Dan Levy. Oh, how many can he deliver in January? Look, that's what I was saying. There's skepticism around it, but that's okay. We need to be skeptical because of past events. I'm getting you two on James Redmond TV. Hey, I'll make you my agent then. How about that? If you can get me on a big channel like that, that'd be cool. I don't know him, but hey, I subscribe to his channel. I watch his stuff. I like his accent. The wings are killing us as Jazz Fusion. I agree. Richie is combative and great for ball retention, says Rich. In front of goal, he's awful. We should be able to find a winger who could do both. Yes, exactly. Yes. Bogosian says, been on the opinion Richie is a useless donkey for now, but then again, he's Brazil's number 9. I think historically this is like the worst Brazil team ever, too. So he's leading the line for them. That's fun. Lily White says, if Bentancur comes back to his top form in a few months, you'll see an uptick in production from Kulu, in my opinion. They have a real understanding. I hope so. Again, Richarlison, Kulusevski, Brian Hill, these players, I have, like there's players like Davies, Dyer, Sessegnon, Lloris, these players that I've already closed the book. I said, you got to go. I'm done with you. But those players over here that I mentioned, the Brian Hill, Kulusevski, another fucker, Richarlison, those guys, I'm almost going to put you over there in the done category, but the door's still open for you to come back and tell me why I'm wrong and why I'm stupid. And I hope that they all 3 do that, because if they do, that means we have 3 really good players on our hands. But those 3 players specifically have frustrated me for every time that I see them lately in recent history. Again, Kulusevski had those great few months when we got him after January, but then there's a whole year of him being bad. But then again, I have to tell myself, not everyone was bad last year, except for the Schnitzel eater. But other than that, like, so I try to keep it with an open mind. Now, Giovanni Lo Celso, he's over here in the you're cooked, you're done, I need you to go category. Hussam is a big star, says Drunk Vigo. He is a big star. Love that guy. He's absolutely hilarious. Big up Tricky One says, big up Jacob and the USA Spurs. Great to see the channel doing so well. Keep it up. Big up. Hey, thanks to see you here. Glad to see you here every single time. Batu says, Liverpool has played the same team every game for like 3 years. We need that luck with injuries. Maybe it's those inhalers or something. I don't know. Charlie Giza. Charlie Giza. What do you predict the score will be tomorrow, Jacob? Are we doing that? We are over an hour, and I haven't reminded everybody. Please do hit that like if you haven't already. It does wonders for the channel, and it's absolutely free. I see 96 votes. I see 81 likes. There's a difference of 15 people who want to vote but don't want to like the video. I don't know why. I don't understand it, but again, here on this channel, you are not obligated to do what you don't want to do. You don't want to like the video? Go ahead. You don't have to like the video. But if you do want to like the video, I encourage you to do so. It helps me, helps the channel. It's absolutely free. Big up Mountain Bush, man. Says, big up Jacob. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you here on a Friday morning for you. So good morning to you. Hope you're feeling too blessed to be stressed, my friend, and living well down under. Oh, I just got a text message from somebody. Maybe a surprise guest? Maybe a surprise guest. I don't want to say it and then it not happen that everyone get real depressed. But hey yo. He might be joining. Somebody special. Big up, you people. Drunk Vigo says, big up Daniel E in the house. Big up Saher says, big up Jacob. Sorry, a little late. Just take out Sonny and Matter from goals. Who do you think Hill, Johnson, Kulu, Richie Solomon will be goal scorer in the future? I think Kulu can score. He's got a good left foot on him. It's just do it consistently. I need his decision making to be a little quicker. I need him to be a little bit more boppity, if you know what I mean. Whoa, I hit enter and then it made it go away. But big up Saher as well in the house. I appreciate you being here. Don't worry about being late. Hey, you're here. Participate in that poll. A resounding 90% of 98 votes say Spurs should win and will win. And then 5% says draw incoming. 1% say Spurs will lose. And 4% says Spurs win because they lucky. Look, again, I try to give a representation of everybody in the poll. If you're new to the channel, again, let me remind you. Here in the poll, I will never ask, have you liked the video? I think that's a little bit lazy and uncreative. But what I will say in the poll here, I'm always going to ask you either how do you think about something or how do you feel about something, because that's what matters more to me. Jacob Pigeon strutting around like he's the king of England. Hey, talk to me nicely. You got to talk to me nicely right now, Drunk Vigo. At least for the moment while I'm on top, put some respect on my name. I just need some respect. People out here talking too abruptly and rude. Big up Ian Ferguson says, preach, Jacob. I think on my little monologue there. Big up. I don't want to see that Sydney Opera House anymore. Why not? It's a nice little virtual background. I think it's better than seeing like my kitchen, because when I do that, it's because I'm out there in the living room. I'm not here in the studio. But I got a special somebody here with me. A special somebody. Everybody say hello to the Hotspur Hippie.
Hello, folks. Hello, Jacob. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good, man. How you doing? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, man. I thought, see, because I know we've got this thing that as soon as I get more subscribers than you, I ain't coming on anymore. So I thought I'd get you more subscribers. More subscribers by putting a track in the background. So
look
you
at
always
that.
stay.
I appreciate that, because, you know, we have been going back and forth on how the YouTube algorithm rewards a tree in the background. So that's kind of fun. It looks like you're standing under some kind of tarp there. Is it nice and sunny? What's the weather like there in Australia?
It's been bloody raining all day. I'm actually like in a kid's playground, but they're all at school. That feels creepy.
You just say, "Hey, I'm on Skype with my family right now. Leave me alone."
That's it. I'm not doing sus. It's the only place nearby where I ended up that I could get a tree for you. That's fine, yeah.
Yeah, hey, I like that. I like to see the nature. It makes me feel a little bit more in touch with it.
It's the best.
Hey, man, so we're previewing Pals. Don't know how long we got you, but I want to say this. What's your prediction? Obviously, it looks nice like we're going to win, but what do you think's going to happen and transpire?
Well, last year we won 4-4 and we were rubbish. And I was thinking Palace aren't as good. Maybe I'm just swayed. Listen from here. I just listened to Andrew's press conference, and he was very complimentary of Roy Hodgson. So maybe they are better than this last year. But so I think 3-0's a good conservative prediction. It'd be 9-9 by the time I get to tomorrow morning, but at the most 3-0.
Well, it's very fun. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo come through, and I was curious if everyone can hear my son yell. And then he came through on the echo, and I heard it. So that was lovely. Apologies, everyone who's heard my son in the background. I don't hear it anymore.
Is it? No, it's okay. Okay, good.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like it comes in and out. So I don't hear it right now, but hey, that's really nice. Damn, Jacob, you're really emo tonight, says Drunk Vigo. Am I? No, I'm just keeping it immaculate. I think that guy's used to me being shameless. But got a question here from Ash. Says, do we rest Bissouma? Also, Akeef asked, will Bissouma play against Palace? I had that starred, by the way. Don't want you to think I forgot about you, Akeef. But the two questions asking the same general thing. Where are you at with Bissouma? Do you see him starting? Are we starting Bissouma?
Well, no, I think so. Because I think people are concerned if he picks up another yellow, then he's not going to be around for Chelsea. That's the deal, isn't it? That's why people are worried.
Yeah, because he's on 4 yellows, and if he picks up another one, then he's suspended for Chelsea.
Yeah, no, I think you play the conditions of the current pitch, don't you? So he might not get a yellow. I'd be playing him, and if he gets a yellow and we don't have him for Chelsea, I'm not really too worried about that because we've got our mole Pochettino making sure Chelsea don't get too good this season. So I think you just play your best team.
Yeah.
As soon as you start getting a bit too clever with these things, they tend to backfire on you a little bit. So I'd be playing him unless Ange wants to start Pierre just because he thought he played well against Fulham and wants to give him some more minutes. So if Pierre starts, I wouldn't necessarily read it as protecting a Bissouma suspension. Might just be a bit of rotation,
For me, and Paul, I'm going to mute you while I speak just so I don't hear it come back on the other end. For me, Paul, I say you have to start with your strongest 11 no matter what. Regardless of the caution, he is a professional. It is his duty, Bissouma, I'm speaking of, to go out there and not get a yellow so he keeps himself ready for Chelsea. We all know how big of a match that is. Mauricio Pochettino is coming back to White Hart Lane. It's going to be a big affair. We need our best players. We need Bissouma. But I don't think we need to be playing our lineup tomorrow based on what's going to happen a week from tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So we got to work for now. We have to operate under the assumption that Bissouma can go out there and give us 65 minutes with no yellow cards, play like you're already on a yellow. You know what I'm saying? But look, if he does, then he does, and we have to live with it. I think Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, for the most part, came in, did a suitable job. He had 2 interceptions, both of which led to 2 goals for us. So let's not forget that. But big up Lily White. Look, Paul, the algorithm does work. This person, Lily White, said, "Greetings from London. They found me because the algorithm suggested it, and now they're here for the." So isn't that sweet?
Excellent, man. Well, that's the power of nature, isn't it?
Them trees, man.
I'm just going to get back in my car because it's a bit windy out here at the moment. Maybe that's not helping your audio situation. So give me a second.
Yeah, no worries. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, he muted himself. What a guy. What a lad. But big up, Drunk Vigo. Hey, you're allowed to be. What did you say? It's just for fun. It's all good. I appreciate you being here. And hey, you give me a hard time when I'm over there, but that's what it's about. I play better when my competition gives me a little bit of banter. Personally, I enjoy it, so it's always welcome here, Drunk Vigo. And I like. It's funny that you refer to me as the cello guy, because I don't even play the cello. It's my wife's cello. But everyone's here saying what's up to the Hotspur Hippie. He's now in his car. Mountain Bush Man says big up to the best 2 content creators on the planet. Oh, big up Jay Coe's in the house as well. Callum Roche got you here live and direct. Says good day, Paul. You still haven't replied to my comment.
Never will. Never. It's not going to happen. Sorry.
That's right.
Sorry. I shouldn't even say sorry because I'm just not going to.
You gotta love it. The authenticity is what I appreciate. The transparency. He's not gonna say, "Yeah, I'll get to it," and then you just waiting on it. You know, I ain't fucking answering that. Look, what I will tell you to anyone on playback, if you do leave a comment here on United Spurs of America, I will make an effort to respond. But that's just I go above and beyond the call of booty. You know, I know Paul.
You're so thirsty.
Big up David Calvino as well. He's here in the house. Let me make sure. I'm almost caught up on the chat, I believe. Can't worry about the monster under the bed. Absolutely spot on. 8-1 for James. Says A1 Spurs winning with style and flair. We don't rest Bissouma. I agree. Do not rest Bissouma. But I don't think 8-1 Spurs, that's quite crazy. Because if you think about it, look, Newcastle put 4 on Crystal Palace. But before that, they had conceded 7 goals in 8 matches. And they scored 7 goals in 8 matches. So they were very, we'll give and we'll take the same. And it was very, you know, they're not the greatest, but they still, look, they're not at the bottom of the table. And they're not a bad side. Some would say one of the best defenses statistically. They have the most tackles in the Premier League, Crystal Palace. So I don't know about 8-1, but I do say what's making my prediction not be a 2-0, which is what my prediction was before I really deeped it. Just looking at it on paper, I said, yeah, we're probably due for another 2-0 victory is what I'm thinking, because on average we score about two goals per game. Unless it's Luton Town, apparently we only score 1. But what I want to say is Ange Postecoglou being so upset about how we played the second half versus Fulham, for me, what that leads me to believe is that we're not going to have the same scoreline. We're going to go out there and put like a Burnley type on them is what I'm hoping for. But I don't think Crystal Palace are going to be like Burnley and allow us to do that. They're going to be more rigid and like a Sheffield United type, like just come at us, do what you will, let's see what you can do. And I hope we can break them down. I feel like we should be able to break them down. But with the statistic, Paul, of before the Newcastle match, because now they've conceded 11 goals this season, but before the Newcastle match when they got their ass whooped, they'd only conceded 7 goals in 8 matches, looking like one of the best defenses on paper in the league. Do you think that could be a problem for us to break them down? Do you see it being a high-scoring affair based on Ange Postecoglou being upset last week, or what?
Well, seeing as that Tottenham Hotspur are currently the best team in England and Wales, I don't care what Crystal Palace's other results were. I mean, who cares? Oh, 1 goal here, 1 goal there. They're playing Tottenham Hotspur now. We're top of the table. So, and yeah, okay, without the Newcastle game, but they did have that against Newcastle, and I think we're better than Newcastle. So if Newcastle can give them a good stuffing, maybe we can. And I like you know, when Andrew was talking about his comments after the game last week, and he was also asked what's the biggest area we can improve, and isn't it so nice to hear the change that instead of it being our manky defence, it's now okay, we've got to get up front. Our forwards have got to get a bit more I don't know, classy or whatever. But he also said the reason we're scoring goals is because our forwards are so good. So that he can see with his Ange vision that they're not quite reading each other or getting, you know, they haven't got that, like, you know, understanding yet. But even despite that, we're still really good. Wait till that understanding comes, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I said earlier on the show, Paul, was while people use the argument of, yeah, you may have done this against Arsenal or Liverpool, but they're going to get firing on all cylinders. And I said, well, so are we. We're going to get out of our second gear as well. So to think that we're not going to improve, we are 4 months into our project and we've dismantled clubs that are 6 years or 4 years into theirs. And look, I'm not trying to say, you know, this, that, like discredit what they're doing, but if I'm looking at it, I'd be worried as a rival fan. And this is why I say eventually they're going to run out of things on their list as to why we're getting lucky, as to how we're getting these results, as to what's going on. So I know for a fact, like, people are just waiting for the downfall. Ash here has a really good point, brings up, says, I worry that Roy hasn't lost 2 games in a row for Palace apparently. He's never has. Especially after Newcastle thrashed him. But I'm going to throw this out there before I ask you, Paul. Ange Postecoglou is the breaker of all myths and curses. He takes it and he changes it. And I'm telling you, if Roy hasn't lost 2 games in a row, Roy's about to lose 2 games in a row. Because that's what Ange Postecoglou can do. Now, how do you feel about, do you think Ange is here to break yet another myth? Or not myth, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, we haven't lost in the first 9 games. So, you know, which pattern is going to be more likely? This is the thing about statistics. There's always, you know, they're always good for looking backwards. But when you go forwards and new things happen in the world, then the statistics will change. And, yeah, I'm not worried about that. We've only dropped 4 points out of 27. I mean, that's crazy stuff. That's why I'm so happy, because it's the best start to a season I've ever had in my life. You know? Yeah,
it's absolutely phenomenal, and it's the best start I've ever had to a season in my life as well.
And you know, you say about the excuses. It's funny. Like sometimes I think, and yeah, of course I'm biased as a Spurs fan, but also like when we're bad, I'm pretty scathing of them as well. But it's just funny hearing these comments like, "Oh, you haven't played anyone," or "Liverpool were unlucky," or "You were lucky." And I'm watching these games and I'm thinking, no, we are absolutely well worth our position at top of the table. And we've deserved every 3 point and 1 point we've got. We've been great. So, yeah, I keep writing it on. I know every time we play someone, Gary Neville always says, hey, but Arsenal haven't got a proper striker, have they? They haven't got a proper striker. Everyone we play, they haven't got a striker. They need someone up front. Well, they've all got bloody strikers. It's just that we've got Van de Ven and Romero. So
again, it's one of those things like your brain's gonna naturally try to rationalize what your eyes are seeing, right? You see like a crazy car accident and things that you've never seen before. You may block some out. You may see things that aren't necessary. You're gonna rationalize things in your brain. And so when rivals see Spurs playing well, sitting at the top of the league, they say, oh, here's why it's a fluke. Here's why it's not going to be sustainable. Here's why it's going to not work. And then this, that, and the other. And then to me, however long that list is, I don't really give a shit because it doesn't bother me what other people say. Yeah. But eventually that list, they're going to run out. They're going to run out of reasons. And hopefully by that time, they'll start saying, damn, I guess I was wrong. And you know what? It's okay to be wrong. I've been wrong a million times in my life. And I'll be wrong a million times more. But what I know I'm not wrong about is the fact that we are top of the league and we are undefeated. So isn't that pretty sweet?
We're taking care of business in a flash, just like Elvis Presley. That's what we're doing, taking care of business.
Taking care of business every day. Is that the song you're talking about?
No, it's Elvis Presley. This is a T-shirt from Graceland. Taking care of business. That was Elvis's thing.
Oh, cool. I had no idea.
That's what Andy's doing.
Shout out Elvis. Yeah, he is taking care of business. Side Dance's in the house. Big up, Jacob and Paul. He says, big up, Side Dance. Hope you're well. I got a few things I do want to talk about. Paul, how long do I have you for, my friend?
Yeah, no, take it easy, man. Easy.
Cool.
I've been driving all morning. I need to take a nice break. So,
well, perfect. And then that means you and I together, with the chat's help, so chat, get ready, we are going to build Tottenham Hotspur's lineup going into Crystal Palace. What I will say is there's not going to be a lot of debate on certain areas, so we'll get into it. Let me go ahead and share this. Hang on. Here we are.
Oh, you've got a tool. Look at you. This is why you've got
Look
more
at that.
subscribers than me. You're a professional. I'm just some fucking hobo. Look at this. I can't read it or see it, but it looks good.
It looks good. Hopefully, to those of you that can see, let me see if I can zoom it in even more.
Oh, it's just
Look
because
at
I'm
that.
on my phone, man. Yeah, it'd be fine on a normal
So
screen.
Spurs versus Palace, resounding, easy choice. Vicario Sicario in goal. So there's no debate there. Right back, we're saying Pedro Porro, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. And then, of course, Kuti and Van de Veen will be our center backs.
Yep.
Left back. Now, I do have a bit of business, a bit of news, or a fucking bookmark that I'm sure 100 million people have already seen. Let me share this real quick. It says, Destiny Udogi will be assessed ahead of the Palace fixture. Pape's fine. Bounced back 24 hours after the game. Bit of an illness, but is trained well. Destiny, we're still going to assess. Davies missed Fulham with a knock. Fair to say, training teeters on the edge, and he took a sore one. Everyone else has come through fine. So there's a bit of a question marks there around our left back. So that's why, before I put in Ugodi, Paul, do you think he is fit enough to start? Or do you think we might take some precaution here? And hey, I know you're a fly on the wall in those training rooms. I'm asking.
You're asking the worst person, man. I'm so far away. Yeah, I heard what Ange said about it. Look, if he's fit, he'll play, won't he? And like you say, you play your best 11, and maybe he won't be on for a full match. But no, I thought Emerson did all right, defensively anyway. And, up front, he's a bit wobbly maybe, but he didn't lose us any games or anything. So, I don't know. I suppose I know, man. I've been on the phone to Ange. I've been flying out. Yeah. Udogi's fit. He's going to play.
Love it, Paul. Thank you for the inside info. I told you he knows people.
Ryan Sessegnon, because Ryan Sessegnon might be cutting. No, he's still out for a bit, isn't he?
Oh my God, I don't even want to think about Sessegnon. There's a bunch of rumors going around too about like a potential dust up between a senior player, and some people are speculating that may be Sessegnon. I don't know. We'll see.
Rumors, schmoomers.
Let's see. I was playing with the layout while we were talking. Let me see if that looks any better. Does it look better? Does it look better? No, it still kind of looks like shit anyway. Look, because I've been...
You're always seeking to improve.
I'm on a new StreamYard account, and it's the free version, so it's not all fancy. So I'm trying to play around with it, make it as fancy as I can whilst not being fancy. Let's see what the chat is saying about our lineup. Rich, real quick, says, people said, wait until we play someone good, then we beat Liverpool. People said, wait until one of our best players is out. Bissouma gets suspended, then we beat Fulham. Hey, we keep answering everyone's doubts, says Rich. Big up, Rich.
Man.
Yeah. Hoping Ugodi is fit. I hope so too. Elvis the King. Daniel, I don't want to be cocky. I just say the truth. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Udogi will start but come off after 60, 70 minutes, says Rich. Van de Veen left back, and oh shit, we have no cover at center back. That's another option. For me, I'm not putting Van de Veen out there on the left back because I'm not touching the partnership that Romero and Van de Veen are building. So that's for me personally. I'm not doing it. I'd rather see Emerson Royale. I'd rather see whoever the fuck. Just don't touch my center back partnership right now because it's the best in the league. And I mean that with my heart. Edward says Ainge is toddler compared to Hodgson. Yeah, Hodgson. Look, well, everyone's worried about Ainge's age. Hodgson, wasn't he alive in World War I?
Oh, he would have been. Would he?
Was he?
74? No, 1950. No, hang on. I can't add up.
The second one was in the 40s. So I don't know.
Oh, well done, Professor of History Emeritus. God, who says the American education system isn't up to par? Yeah,
look at that. Somewhere around there. Yeah, somewhere around there.
I can't subtract for some reason. What's 20 minus 70? It's 1950s. Tail end maybe. No. It would have been around during rationing in England. He couldn't eat
Rationing. I'll tell you what, I would have not done well with rationing. I'm not a very good rationing kind of guy. So we'll go ahead and put Udogie there in the starting lineup, just because I think that's who will start. But you know what? My honorable mention is going to be Emerson Royale, because I'd rather see Emerson Royale than Ben Davies.
Yes.
Especially Ben Davies wasn't even able to play because of a knock. So we're saying, maybe not even 100% Ben Davies. I wouldn't start him personally.
Actually, you know, what I felt pretty good after the Fulham game, just knowing that Emerson can play left back. I thought, yeah, all right, I think that's a better option than Ben Davies. And I like what Ange said about our training sessions. They're close to the line, meaning people are punching the shit out of each other. I like to hear that.
Yeah, I agree. I do like to hear that too. Look, so we're saying midfield. It's pretty obvious, so I was just kind of filling it in while we were talking there. James Maddison, Yves Bissouma, and Papa Montassar.
Yeah. But the other thing about not playing Bissouma, you know, because you want to save him for Chelsea, is what if he then gets an injury during the week in training? Then you've not played him and he's not playing anyway. So you've got to play him.
That is a great point. Alan says Roy is 76. Roy is 76. 1947, the war ended in 45. There we go. Bit of... It must be Madison's BBC interview disrespecting Sonny. What? What are you talking about, disrespecting Sonny? Edward Y of Oz says Brian Hill might be playing. Look, I've left the two winger options open, so let's get into it, y'all. Who are we saying is going to start? Not who are we starting, but who are we saying will start? Now, I think let's go right winger first because I think it's more obvious. I just think steady Eddie, sturdy Skirty. He's going to go Kulusevski. That's what's been working. Why tinker with it too much? So do you agree with that, Paul?
Yep, 100%.
Right winger, Kulusevski. Great, because I'm going to say the same thing. Ron V's in the house says, good day, my old mates. From down in Sydney, too.
I forgot, it's the internet. We're supposed to be having like a stupid debate about fuck all, aren't we? No.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, no, fuck you, put Brennan Johnson because he's right-footed or something, and then creates... But, I mean, I'm perfectly fine with, you know, doing things the way that we always do, Paul.
That's cool, man. Yeah, Kulu. Yeah, he's not... I think he's been playing really well. Can't get the ball off him.
Kulusevski it is. We're locking it in. Anyone in the chat, if you want to disagree with it, now's the chance. But for the left wing, what are we saying? Callum Roche just chimed in, says start Johnson on the left. Richie's better coming on in the last 20 minutes. Barry Shuttleworth is saying Brennan Johnson and Kulusevski. Chat, where are we at? Who's our left winger for Palace tomorrow? Is it Brennan Johnson? Is it Richarlison? Is it Brian Hill? Who are we saying will be the left winger? I think it could be an interesting choice. He says, yeah, Icardi. Oh, they're talking about Icardi. Y'all been talking about Icardi for 20 minutes. He has an interesting personal life away from football, apparently, is what I hear. Brennan Johnson on the left is what Rich is saying. So, Paul, let me ask you, Brennan Johnson on the left.
Well, no, because we won last week with Richarlison, so I think keep a winning team. Put Richarlison.
Oh, here we go. Now it's time to fight. I'm saying Brennan Johnson, you idiot, you deluded fool, stupid Spurs fans like you. No, in all seriousness, I would say the reason why I would argue that Brennan Johnson should start over Richarlison, despite Richarlison having 3 assists and 1 goal, which is better than Martin and then Chartinelli, Gabriel Jesus, Marcus Rashford. I'm just saying he's got more goal contributions than all of them. So some people are saying now that that's why Richarlison should get to start. This is my reasoning for why I'm going to go ahead and I would say Brennan Johnson, because this is the guy I was told was Ange Postecoglou's #1 target in the summer for us to get. Now, whether that's true or not, whether there's factual, there's no smoke without fire. So he was on Ange Postecoglou's list, and he was an acquirable asset on that list. So we know that much. But they say it was his #1 option. If that's true, and we spent damn near as much much money on him as we did for Richarlison, if he's 100% fit, in my opinion, he has to start. He has to start because this is what I'm told a Ainge Postecoglou winger is supposed to look like. Now, Paul, I have you here. Is Brennan Johnson what an Ainge Postecoglou winger is supposed to look like? But before you answer, I'm going to make this question even more long form because I've been going around saying that maybe there's a reason he's picking Richarlison and Kulusevski, that they offer similarities on both sides as a winger. They're not going to stretch you vertically. They're not going to expand the field in any way. But what you can do is play the ball into them. They can hold it up and find somebody that they can slightly progress the ball, but not with pace, more with power. And that defensively, they have a good press. They can win the ball for you back when they're in the defensive shape. So is that the style of Ainge winger? Or is Brennan Johnson, who I'm told is an Ainge Postecoglou style winger? What do you think that Ainge wants as a winger in the Premier League specifically?
Well, one, I mean, what the fuck do you know about anything? So, I think that's an interesting point you make because Ange did kind of seek Johnson out. The only reason I'm saying Richarlison for two reasons. One, we won last week, but two is just from an ignorance point of view. I really haven't seen much of Johnson, so I don't know if you saw him play more when he was playing for Nottingham Forest. But it is true what you're saying that Ange did really want to buy the guy in the window. So if he's ready to go, then yeah, you could be right. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be debating here, aren't I?
You're supposed to be like, no, this is why Richarlison will start. You deluded fuck.
Yeah, nah.
That's what they want. That's what the people want. That clashing.
But you might be right though. So
That's what I'm saying. That's why, look, I appreciate all the opportunities I get to go put my big mug on screen and talk in front of whoever the fuck. But the reason why some channels don't invite me back is because I'm not this like clickbait guy. I just tell you how I feel, tell you what I think, and that's that. Like, and if you tell me what you think and you feel, I say respectfully, I either agree or disagree, and here's why. And that's that. I have a very sensible. Some people want that like fireworks. No, you listen to me now. I'm telling you why. And like that's just not me. In any form or fashion, that's just never been me. So look, I'm only gonna tell you what I think. But Richarlison, I hear the argument why he should start. Because he started last week and we won last week. Like, so why would you change it? But if that's the same breath, then we got to say Pierre-Emile Højbjerg starts over Bissouma, which for me, that's non-negotiable. You have to start Bissouma.
I'm going to make an exception for the rule I just made. Yeah, look, I mean, I would like to see more of Johnson and Hill because I just haven't seen enough of them. So I wouldn't be like if Johnson started. I think that's perfectly fine as well to start Johnson and bring Richie on, or maybe Hill on, second half or whatever. I could see that working. I mean, the good thing is we've got options, haven't we? We've got a few, despite having Perisic out and Solomon out. We've still got a little bit of finagling and wiggle room we can do up front, which is really nice actually.
Yeah, it is very nice. Speaking of very nice, I see 94 likes on the video. We are 6 likes away from 100. That would be fantastic if we could get there during the live show, or if we can do it on playback. I appreciate everyone who does watch us on playback. If you're an hour and 40 minutes in on playback, big up yourself right now. You're a go, and pat yourself on the back one time for me because I appreciate you showing some love. And let's see how many likes we can get on this one. 108 votes, so Shirley, but don't call me Shirley. We can get that ratio up. A lot of interesting discussion here. I'm gonna run through the chat and say what people are saying. Ash is saying Johnson's the perfect start because he meets Ainge's requirement for every goal scorer to be, i.e. Son, Madison, Richarlison. Callum says I'd personally like to see Brendan on the right, Decky on the left, but Ainge seems to prefer to keep them inverted. Hotspur says Brendan Johnson could equal Richie's stats in one game. 3 assists and 1. So you're saying, I mean, he could. That's not impossible. I'll put it that way for sure. If Richie starts, Brennan Johnson must be struggling in training, or that he's not 100%. Those would be the things that I would chalk it up to. Hey, big up everyone who just hit that like that hadn't already. We're 1 like away from 100. Big up everybody. Matt and Oz says start Brian. Edward says Richo and BJ both missed sitters. Very factually true. But I would argue Brennan Johnson's missed sitter was at least on target.
Yes.
Because it hit the goalkeeper in the chest. And while, yes, you don't want to hit the goalkeeper in the chest when you have a wide open net like that, but at least it's on target. When Richarlison misses, it goes wide or it goes way over the top.
Yeah, well, they were. Are you talking about the two he missed against Fulham? I wouldn't say either of those were sitters that Richarlison had. I thought he gave him a good whack and it didn't work out for him. But you know what I'm liking about Richarlison is, you know, he's a real prick, but he's our prick, and I think teams don't like playing him because he's always up them. He's part of our, you know, he's a big part of our first line of defence. You know, our forwards hassling people, making defenders, making midfielders tired, making them sloppy, making them make mistakes. So even though, you know, he hasn't been, you know, scoring a lot of goals and all that, you know, you just look at the results, and I think he's definitely been, after his first, you know, the first couple of games he was pretty rubbish, but he has been steadily improving, and I think our results are, you know, partly down to that attitude of being an absolute arsehole. And I don't know if Johnson seems quite nice. I don't know. Has he got any mongrel in him?
I don't think he's got any of that nastiness that Richie's got, that dirty, that's cocky swag. He's got a little bit of the confident cocky swagger, but not the like I'm gonna put it in your face type of like player. So they are different in that sense. And big up David Harris, the Irish Hotspur says Postecoglou picks players on merit. So based on that, I should put Richarlison in this lineup then.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you fucking moron.
Because I'm a deluded cunt. That's what it is. What I do, I agree he does pick based on merit, but why I'm saying maybe Brennan Johnson is because he's supposed to be his number one target. If that's not true, then sure, start Richarlison. But if that's true, you have to start Brennan Johnson because that was your guy. And this is the clear and obvious position where we're looking at should be upgraded first. So I agree, but maybe based on if this is true, what David Harris is saying is true, Postecoglou picks based on merit, then I must put Richarlison in there because, look, he got a goal and assist for Sheffield. What's that?
And Højbjerg.
Oh, and Højbjerg. We got to take Bissouma out and put Højbjerg in. You're right about that. David Calfino says, where's my Aussie Uber driver? I ordered him over 20 minutes ago. The app says he's in the car but not moving.
I forgot where to put my watch on, man. Sorry. Just ring up Qantas and say you'll be there in an hour, and they'll say no worries, man. We'll hold the plane for you.
That's a great one, David Calvino. Big up Ravi in the house. Ash says Richie's like Lamella. That's an interesting outlook. Letty says hi, Jacob and everyone. Big up Letty. Good to see you in the house. I like that Ainge mural. I believe is your profile photo. That's pretty cool. Alan Bennett says Kulu numbers would look a lot better if not for Richie. And I would say the same thing about Son. He'd have 5 assists in the first 3 matches if Richarlison could finish his dinner. Gil Messi was on fire in the training video, says James. Rom says might be a chance Udogie is not fit to play. If he can't, who would you bring in for him? For me, I'm saying Emerson Royale. If Destiny Udogie, let's do that a second. If he's not starting there, I'm saying Emerson Royale. What are you saying, Paul?
Yeah, I'd say Royale as well for sure.
Okay.
Because Ben Davies, he's not good enough. He's not good enough defender.
So you're telling me there's a potential for a Brazilian left-sided attack here at versus Palace?
Maybe not, because I'm thinking if you've got Royale there, maybe Richarlison is not the right guy in front of him. Maybe then you would look at a Brendan Johnson instead. Because I think Brendan, you know, you need a bit more chutzpah or something, a bit more flair maybe. Although maybe I don't know, maybe they do. Do they have an understanding at Brazil? I don't know, because Richarlison's up front and Emerson would be right back, so they wouldn't be anywhere near each other. You know, like you've got the Kulu Pedro Porro axis of awesome on the right hand side. Something about Emerson and Richie doesn't sound as awesome to me, but maybe Emerson and Johnson might be.
Good point. I think, yeah, if Udogi's not fit and Emerson Royale plays, I would, even if it's the merit thing, I would still say Brennan Johnson. But, you know, Richarlison, he started and we won. So, I don't know. If it's merit, then... But we just make the exception for Højbjerg just because it's Højbjerg.
Well, you know, the Irish Hotspurs here, maybe just stick Gil Messi in there.
He says, I would love nothing better to see Gil Messi play. I would like to see him as a bench appearance first.
We can make that dream come right true for him now.
Okay, you want it to happen? Look at this guy. There you go.
Yay.
There he is. Brian Hill's in your lineup. Well, before we wrap up the show, I got to get everyone in the chat, and then I got to get Paul. Give me your score predictions for tomorrow. What's happening? Who's scoring? What's the result? Paul, I think I have an idea of where you're at. But just for everyone in the chat, what's going to happen tomorrow at Crystal Palace, according to Paul?
Well, you see, I think Ange's words about we need to be a bit better up front. And, you know, he's mentioned a couple of times about us taking our chances. Sooner or later, we're going to have a game where all our chances happen. It's not going to be every game, you know, because it's hard to score a goal. And you get these games where, you know, you have 10 chances and score 1. But now and then you have those games where you get 10 chances and you score 10, don't you? I think it could be a shellacking. I mean, if Newcastle can do it, why can't we? I'm going to go 6-0.
6-0. I love it. 6-0. Get in. Let me run through the chat for those of you who are participating in your score predictions. I'll run through them before I spout out mine. And then we end off the show, and I'm going to send you over to Sarcasm City TV, to the great one and only Flawless. Craig the Gecko Man says 1-0 Spurs. Donovan 3-0 Poro, Sonny, and Bissouma. Love to see it. Sai Danza says 2-0 Kuti and Madison. Love to see that. Milton Nobrega 4-1 Spurs. Madison with 2. Poro, Sar goals, and BDE for Pedro Poro. So he's expecting a big one out of Pedro Porro, which he may be onto something, Milton. Maybe that inverted right back on that side. Well, hey, he's popping up in dangerous places versus Fulham, so wouldn't be surprised. Palace under Roy offer nothing, so Spurs should take advantage. Big up Ravi, we should. 1-0 for Spurs, says Ash. Sounds like a gutted out win. A 1-0 win. Sounds tough.
Win's a win, no way, so it don't matter.
Hey, win's a win. They're gonna, and then they'll say you got lucky to beat Palace. You barely beat Palace.
Their manager's 74.
Yeah. James says, I think.
They were saying that when Newcastle kicked their ass, were they? They weren't saying, "Oh, Newcastle, you're only playing Palace." It was like, "Oh, Newcastle are really good." But if we beat them, it'd be Spurs lucky.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I got it from an Arsenal fan yesterday giving me shit about barely beating Fulham. That Fulham. And I was like, bro, you were an Arsenal fan. You had Fulham at home and they had 10 men and you drew.
Yeah.
But no, let's not talk. No, then when you make that argument, it's, oh, now you want to talk about the past. Oh, are you celebrating a draw at the Emirates still? It's like, motherfuckers, always moving the goalpost. What?
More than he was, the Arsenal prick. He wasn't celebrating the draw at the Emirates, was he?
That's a good point. We weren't celebrating it, but we were celebrating it more than they were. That's for damn sure. Ravi says 4-0 for Tottenham. Swimmaster 1-3 Tottenham win. Love to see it. 4-0 Spurs from Daniel E. 3-0 for Tot Spurs. Nate Pie. Excuse me. You don't like Nate Pie. Just Senior Nate. 4-1 Spurs from Nate. Sleepy Mocha says 2-1 Tottenham. Win it in the 10th minute of injury time. Another crazy limbs from Sleepy Mocha. Is that a kangaroo in your photo? No, I think it's a cat. Big up, Sleepy Mocha.
So, as well as as American schooling being good for contemporary 20th century history, it's pretty good for biology and zoology.
Yeah, I'm great at that. I got a lot of factoids about kangaroos. You know what? I didn't whip out this. This is a tradition here. The victory kangaroo only comes out when we win or draw. And guess what? The victory kangaroo is here to stay for the season because victory kangaroo says we're going to win the league, but I don't know. It is just a kangaroo. 8-1 Spurs for James says Sonny hat trick, Richie brace, Kulu with a goal, Hill Messi with a goal, and Brennan with a goal. Look, this may be a FIFA score line if I'm playing TJ Warren or something, but that's neither here nor there. Arsenal were celebrating a job with Chelsea that they didn't even deserve. They were. A very good point, Ash. They were like, we came back from down 0-2 to get the draw versus Chelsea. And look, Chelsea, rival fans about Chelsea are like, oh, Chelsea's won a few games. They're starting to really get it together. They're really starting to click in their new era. And like, but what about Tottenham? You ain't going to say that about Tottenham, huh?
Yeah.
Bullshit. Akeef says 2-2, I think, will be a hard match. Oh, Akeef. Matt and Oz says 0-2, don't know who wins. Dub victory kangaroo. Yes, Donovan, you know the victory kangaroo will come out whenever dubs are around. Jacob Paul, go ahead.
Have you watched the Skippy movie yet?
No, I have not, but I need
you want to see a kangaroo.
Yeah, that's what does he do? He brings down a crime operation?
Yeah, organized crime's nothing for a
What a
kangaroo.
guy. Organized crime is nothing for him. I love that. Jacob and Paul, Arsenal fans are scared that that you're coming for them and that they have to watch their back. So, hey, keep watching your back, but don't worry because we're in front of you. So keep watching your back, but we're in front of you. Faz Radfar says 3-1 Spurs, no doubt. Faz Radfar's in his name, so he always believes 3-1 Spurs, no doubt. Love to see it. I appreciate everybody in the chat who tapped in. I do want to say one final time, a big and hearty thank you very much to Chang for gifting 5 memberships early on in the show, and then Nate with the $20 Australian dollar donation to the channel as well, just to say good day, mate. Looking forward to a win.
Right, looking forward to my 50% of that.
It's 35%, and you know you're cut. And we're not supposed to speak economics on the stream, so I'm taking another 5%. And you know what? You wanted to start Richie over Brendan Johnson. I'm taking 15% out of the additional, so that's down 20% from your original. You're going to get 5%.
I'm going to end up going to pay you again for coming on your thing.
Actually, you owe me now. Yeah. You owe me a percentage. But big up, Nate. I appreciate that donation to the channel. And everyone, go to the Hotspur Hippie right now. Before I say goodbye, I'm pulling the link up for the Hotspur Hippie. It's literally just YouTube/@Hotspur Hippie. But I think you're at the bottom of my list because I was watching your show today and it was like, oh, you're all caught up on Hotspur Hippie. Where the hell is it? Everyone stand by. Found it. Boom. Link. Copied. Pasting in the chat now. There you go. Hotspur Hippie. Everyone go over there. Like and subscribe to the Hotspur Hippie. Got a great channel over there. It's also in the main page of United Spurs of America. It's at the bottom. You can always find Hotspur Hippie's channel down there as well. There's the link. Go click it. Go like it and subscribe it if you haven't already. But Paul, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, brother.
Reply to comments.
He will never reply to comments, so don't expect him to reply to comments. He won't do that. So there it is.
Oh, thanks for having me on again, Jacob. It was a hoot.
Oh, absolutely, man. Always a pleasure. I always text you, like I say, the door's always open for you. You always have a seat at this table, my friend. You just got to show up and eat it. Yep, there it is. And Paul, before I say goodbye and play the outro, there is one thing that I think you and I would simultaneously like to say to people that are upset for us celebrating where we're at and enjoying ourselves. I think we're both unanimously going to say this at the same time.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
We don't care. And as always, stay fresh, everybody. Stay blessed up the lads. And come on, you Spurs.
Wrestlers of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.